but Ragnarok. And so are you. Oh.
Fire to a planet would be quite the your head and stash it away. Now, that's what hero. I'm sorry, I didn't time that right.
You are
Everything.
stay.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the vibrant, neon-soaked cosmic roller coaster that is Thor Ragnarok, a film that redefined our expectations for a god of thunder, adding a hefty dose of laughs and existential dread. We kick off with our favorite Asgardian Thor, hanging out literally, in a fiery dimension called Muspelheim, chatting up a giant fiery demon named Surtur. Turns out, Surtur's planning Ragnarok, the destruction of Asgard, but Thor, ever the optimist, figures he can just stop that little prophecy by stealing Surtur's crown. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more.
It's yours. Tell us so that our people may live. I'll stop you! Big monster!
This place. It will become.
I don't think so.
You have no idea what's possible.
Fine.
You are reborn.
Make sparks.
Okay. None like him. I feel as
Lost my hammer. Look who it is! Banner.
What?
That's it. Kind of a sport. Right. Screw it. Run, stay!
Welcome, Point Break. We don't know where Ultron's headed, but you're going. You should help me out, okay?
Words wisely.
I'm terribly sorry.
Favorite champion?
Where are the guns on the ship?
Did the Grandmaster use it for orgies? I know how to fly one of these.
I hear a son.
A gun.
Just told me that a wise.
To be honest, I expected more.
The sword!
The rightful heir, the savior of...
What the hell is...
Hey, man.
Welcome home.
I'm not a queen. You the god of again?
After a quick monologue about destiny and foresight, Thor gets down to business, summoning Mjolnir with a mighty whoosh. The hammer, a true MVP, zips through Muspelheim's rocky landscape, smashing fire demons and craggy beasts with satisfying crunches and thuds before gracefully returning to its master. Thor, now armed and ready, engages Surtur in a rather spectacular gladiatorial battle. The clanging of his hammer against Surtur's giant blade echoes across the volcanic plains, as Thor effortlessly dodges molten attacks. He even manages a cool, slow-motion hammer spin that looks straight out of a heavy metal album cover. You'd think fighting a giant fire demon would be stressful, but Thor's got that just another Tuesday vibe down pat. He makes short work of Surtur, decapitating the fiery creature and snagging the crown, believing he's just saved Asgard. Spoiler alert, not quite, buddy. Back on Asgard, Thor finds things a little off. He storms into the throne room, only to find his father Odin enjoying a truly terrible play about his own supposed death, complete with a dramatic Loki cameo. The acting is so bad it's good, if you catch my drift. Thor, not one to mince words, instantly calls out the obvious imposter. The audience gasps, the actors falter, and Loki, as Odin, tries a classic parental guilt trip. But Thor isn't having any of it. With a casual flick of the wrist, he tosses Mjolnir straight at a golden statue of Loki, a truly self-aggrandizing monument that screams, "Look at me!" Revealing the real Odin beneath, looking rather disheveled and clearly under a charm spell. The statue shatters with a satisfying crash, and the illusion melts away, exposing Loki in all his smug, green-robed glory. Thor, visibly annoyed, grabs Loki by the collar, demanding answers. It's a classic sibling moment, just with more interdimensional travel and magic. Turns out, Loki had shipped Odin off to an Earth retirement home, only to forget which one. Thanks to Doctor Strange, yes, that Doctor Strange, they track down their father to a serene cliffside in Norway, overlooking the vast, churning ocean. The setting sun paints the sky in hues of orange and purple, adding a poignant beauty to the scene. Odin, looking frail but utterly majestic, reveals his impending demise, explaining that his time is up, and a powerful, ancient evil is about to be unleashed, his firstborn. Hela, the goddess of death. The wind whistles past them, carrying Odin's somber words. He speaks of Hela's dark power, a power he had imprisoned long ago, and how his death will free her. It's a heavy, emotional moment, filled with the weight of prophecy and loss. With his final breath, Odin assures them they are the sons he always wanted, and then, in a truly breathtaking visual, he dissipates into golden dust, carried away by the gentle ocean breeze. The silence that follows is deafening, punctuated only by the mournful cries of gulls and the crashing waves. No sooner has Odin vanished than Hela makes her grand. Rather unwelcome entrance, materializing out of a shimmering green portal with an unnerving fizz. She's all sharp angles, dark armor, and a chilling smile, instantly exuding an aura of pure menace. Thor, still reeling from his father's death, tries to assert himself, tossing Mjolnir at her with his usual confident thwack. But Hela, with a casual smirk, merely catches the mighty hammer mid-flight. The shocked silence is broken only by the ominous creak of Mjolnir in her grasp. Then, with an effortless squeeze, the legendary weapon, the symbol of Thor's power, shatters into a million pieces with a painful crack and shatter, clattering onto the ground like so much broken pottery. Thor's face goes from shock to utter disbelief. It's like watching your favorite superhero lose their lucky charm. Only this charm could level cities. Hela, now fully powered, boasts of her intent to reclaim Asgard, her rightful throne. She's not just powerful. She's got that "I own this place" vibe down cold. Hela immediately proves she's not messing around, conjuring wicked blades from thin air with a terrifying shing. Thor and Loki, realizing they're way out of their league, attempt a desperate escape via the Bifrost Bridge, which Hela promptly pursues them onto. The Bifrost, a vibrant cosmic highway, becomes a battleground. Swords clash with an echoing clang, and magical blasts ignite the air with a whoosh. As Hela lunges, Heimdall, ever the loyal guardian, opens a wormhole to save the fleeing Asgardians. Thor and Loki dive in, but Hela's power disrupts their trajectory. The brothers are separated, plummeting through the psychedelic rainbow-colored vortex of a wormhole, tumbling end over end with disorienting speed. It's a dizzying, chaotic plunge, punctuated by distorted sounds and flashes of light. Thor crash lands on a bizarre, junk-filled planet called Sakaar, a vibrant trash heap of a world with impossible floating structures and a chaotic energy. It's a far cry from the majestic halls of Asgard, smelling faintly of stale popcorn and alien scrap metal. Thor, quite literally picking himself up from a pile of cosmic refuse, soon discovers Sakaar is not exactly welcoming. He's quickly cornered by a group of grotesque scavengers, but before he can unleash his thunderous wrath, a sleek ship descends with a powerful hum. Out steps a formidable warrior, a Valkyrie played by Tessa Thompson, who instantly radiates "don't mess with me" energy. She's got this cool, no-nonsense swagger. Thor tries to explain his godlike status, but she's clearly not impressed by his Asgardian credentials. With a flick of her wrist, she zaps him with an electric device, sending powerful zaps and crackles of energy through his body. He writhes and collapses with a groan, unconscious, probably dreaming of better days and a functional hammer. The visual of him being dragged away, ignominiously tied up, is quite a contrast to his earlier confident stance. It seems on Sakaar, even a god needs a good lawyer, or at least a better escape plan. This place has its own rules, and Thor just broke them all without even trying. Thor wakes up to find himself in the opulent, yet oddly menacing Palace of the Grandmaster, a flamboyant, pleasure-seeking elder of the universe played by Jeff Goldblum in peak eccentric form. The Grandmaster runs Sakaar like his personal amusement park, staging gladiatorial contests for his entertainment. He's got this casual, unsettling charm, dressed in flowing robes and radiating "I'm in charge, don't question it" vibes. He explains Sakaar's unique properties, where discarded matter and beings from across the cosmos converge, implying it's a place where time itself is a bit wobbly. To demonstrate his power, the Grandmaster, with a whimsical flourish, uses his melting stick on an unfortunate guard who dared to interrupt him. The guard screams, a sickening squelch follows, and in a matter of seconds, he's a bubbling, smoking puddle on the floor. The sound of his rapid liquefaction is truly disturbing, yet the Grandmaster's nonchalant shrug after it is pure gold. Thor, obviously disgusted, tries to assert his authority as an Avenger, a concept that means absolutely nothing to the Grandmaster. He's just another potential contender for the arena, a new toy for the cosmic tyrant. Before his gladiatorial debut, Thor is tossed into a communal holding cell, a rather grim waiting room for potential death. Here, he meets Korg, a giant sentient rock creature with a wonderfully gentle demeanor and an accent that suggests he's perpetually apologizing for being made of literal stone. Korg, voiced by the director Taika Waititi himself, instantly wins over audiences with his endearing optimism and frequent, utterly mundane observations. He introduces himself with a cheerful rumble of his rocky voice, explaining his previous attempts at revolution, which, as you can imagine, went about as well as trying to organize a protest with actual rocks. He also introduces his best friend Meek, a silent, insectoid creature with knife hands who mostly just wiggles. Korg explains the gladiatorial system, the contest of champions, a cruel yet celebrated tradition on Sakaar. Thor, despite his predicament, finds himself oddly charmed by Korg's earnestness and Meek's silent companionship. It's a brief moment of warmth amidst the grime and desperation of Sakaar, and Korg's voice is like a comforting, rumbling hug. In true Contest of Champions style, every gladiator gets a makeover, and Thor's is particularly traumatic. He's strapped into a futuristic salon chair, looking utterly bewildered, as a rather enthusiastic barber with multiple whirring blades approaches. The buzzing of the electric clipper starts, and with a series of sharp snips and whirs, Thor's iconic long blonde hair, a staple of his godlike aesthetic, is unceremoniously shorn off. He protests, of course, with a panicked yelp, but resistance is futile. His flowing locks fall to the floor in clumps, a visual representation of his stripped power and identity. It's a hilarious, yet genuinely uncomfortable moment that emphasizes his helplessness on Sakaar. He's not the mighty Thor of Asgard here. He's just another commodity for the Grandmaster's entertainment. The barber, oblivious to Thor's anguish, finishes with a flourish, revealing a much shorter, more practical haircut. It's a good look, but Thor's grumpy facial expression makes it clear he's not thrilled about the sudden change. Who knew a hair? Finally, it's time for the main event. Thor, now sporting his new, shorter do and some snazzy gladiator armor, is introduced to the roaring crowd with all the pomp and circumstance Sakaar can muster. He strides into the vast, circular arena, ready to face whatever grotesque beast the Grandmaster has lined up. He surveys the crowd, soaking in the electric energy, and then, from the opposing gate, emerges the champion. A familiar, hulking, green figure, Thor's face, initially determined, morphs into pure, unadulterated joy. "Yes," he shouts with a booming voice, "we know each other. He's a friend from work." The crowd, of course, has no idea what he's talking about, but the sheer absurdity of the moment is fantastic. The Hulk, however, has no such pleasantries, letting out a deafening roar that shakes the entire arena. He's all brawn and green anger, smashing his fists together with a thunderous crack. Thor's excitement quickly deflates as he realizes his friend is still very much the Hulk, not Banner, and isn't in the mood for a friendly reunion. The thumping of Hulk's feet against the metal floor signals the start of an epic, long-awaited battle. The battle between Thor and Hulk is a masterclass in cosmic WWE. Thor, trying desperately to reason with his giant green buddy, gets a series of massive thumps and punches in response. He's tossed around like a ragdoll, smashing into the arena walls with loud crashes. Hulk's raw strength is incredible, each swing of his massive fists creating a powerful whoosh of displaced air. Thor, weaponless, has to rely on his agility and quick thinking, dodging Hulk's relentless attacks. He even manages to get a few good hits in, making satisfying thwacks against Hulk's green hide, but they barely faze the big guy. As the fight progresses, Thor gets a moment of clarity, remembering Odin's words, "Are you Thor, the god of hammers?" Yes, with a surge of newfound power, his eyes glow, and electricity crackles around his body with furious zaps and hums. He's not the god of hammers, he's the god of thunder. He unleashes a powerful lightning blast with a resounding crackle and boom, sending Hulk flying. It's an electrifying moment, proving Thor's power doesn't come from a tool, but from within. The crowd goes wild, their cheers a deafening wave of sound. After the fight, Thor finds himself in Hulk's surprisingly opulent living quarters, complete with a giant bed and an even bigger ball. Hulk, clearly enjoying his fame and champion status, is a surprisingly articulate, if still very green, person. He recounts his time on Sakaar, where he's adored and powerful, contrasting it with his earlier life, where he was seen as a monster. Thor tries to explain the dire situation on Asgard, the threat of Hela, and the need for Banner's intellect. He urges Hulk to turn back into Bruce, pleading with him to understand the urgency. The silence of the cavernous room is occasionally broken by the soft thump of Hulk bouncing his ball. Hulk, however, is enjoying being the Hulk and isn't keen on returning to Banner, whom he sees as weak. He even throws a playful tantrum, smashing a few things with satisfying crashes when Thor presses too hard. It's a frustrating conversation for Thor, but an endearing one for the audience, watching the god of thunder try to reason with a giant green toddler. The subtle power dynamic shift, where Hulk is in charge, adds a humorous layer. Later, while soaking in a luxurious, albeit trippy, Sakaarian bath, Thor experiences a vivid vision of his father, Odin. The ethereal light and swirling colors make the scene feel otherworldly. Odin's voice, resonant and calm, reminds Thor that his power doesn't come from Mjolnir. It comes from within him, his true potential as the god of thunder. This revelation is a crucial turning point, a powerful click in Thor's understanding of himself. He learns that Hela, their sister, was Odin's brutal enforcer, conquering realms alongside him before he imprisoned her. She literally built the foundation of Asgard's past empire through bloodshed and conquest. This vision, punctuated by flashes of Hela's violent reign and the sounds of distant battles, reveals a darker, bloodier history of Asgard than Thor ever knew. Odin emphasizes that Asgard isn't a place, it's its people. This philosophical shift, delivered with the father's gentle wisdom, sets Thor on a path of self-discovery, away from relying solely on his lost hammer. The deep, rumbling sound of Odin's voice underscores the weight of his words. Meanwhile, Loki, ever the trickster, also landed on Sakaar, but unlike Thor, he managed to charm his way into the Grandmaster's inner circle. He's seen sipping exotic drinks, looking perfectly at home amidst the decadent chaos, whispering in the Grandmaster's ear. He's found a place where his silver tongue and cunning are truly appreciated, a stark contrast to his usual role as Thor's perpetually exasperated little brother. When Thor eventually stumbles upon him in a truly magnificent display of coincidence, Loki pretends to be surprised, trying to maintain his facade of sophisticated indifference. The Grandmaster, of course, dotes on Loki, calling him his favorite challenger. The clinking of glasses and the light chatter in the Grandmaster's party palace highlight Loki's comfortable yet morally questionable position. Thor, naturally, is less than thrilled to see his brother living it up while Asgard faces destruction. The dynamic between them is a familiar dance of annoyance and grudging affection, layered with years of sibling rivalry and a healthy dose of betrayal. Thor tries to convince Loki to join his escape plan, highlighting the imminent doom of Asgard. Loki, predictably, plays coy, enjoying Thor's predicament. He even gets a little revenge, discreetly activating Thor's obedience disc with a silent click of a remote, sending a powerful electric current zapping through Thor's body, causing him to writhe and collapse with a painful groan. It's a classic Loki move, always with the dramatic flair and the casual cruelty. However, after Thor's insistence and a timely intervention by Valkyrie, who he also manages to recruit against her better judgment, Loki reluctantly agrees to help. There's a quiet hum of reluctant cooperation as they start to formulate a plan. It's a moment that reminds us that beneath all the mischief, there's still a hint of brotherly loyalty. The subtle eye rolls from Valkyrie speak volumes about her assessment of the Asgardian brothers' dynamic. Valkyrie, initially a cynical, battle-hardened scavenger queen, is slowly convinced by Thor to rejoin the fight. Her reluctance stems from a traumatic past, revealed in a stunning slow-motion flashback. We see her as part of the legendary Valkyrier, a fierce sisterhood of elite Asgardian warriors, soaring on winged steeds across the vibrant Bifrost Bridge. The imagery is breathtaking, yet quickly turns harrowing. Hela, in her prime, attacks, unleashing a barrage of deadly black spikes with a horrifying shriek and thwack. The valiant Valkyrier are slaughtered, their screams echoing as they fall from the sky. Valkyrie herself is the sole survivor, her last memory a flash of Hela's terrifying power and the deafening silence of her fallen comrades. The sound of their bodies hitting the ground is visceral and chilling. This painful memory, marked by the metallic clang of weapons against Hela's relentless power, has haunted her, driving her to drown her sorrows in Sakaarian liquor. It's a raw, emotional moment that humanizes the seemingly hardened warrior and explains her deep-seated fear of Hela. With Korg and Meek also on board, Thor officially dubs their ragtag team the Revengers. Loki, predictably, scoffs at the name, suggesting something more dramatic or cool. Thor, ever the straightforward leader, just wants to get things done. The team, a bizarre mix of rock alien, silent insectoid, drunken warrior, trickster god, and thunder god, begins to formulate their escape plan from Sakaar. The energy in the room shifts from desperate planning to a sense of hopeful, albeit chaotic, camaraderie. Hulk, still green and grumpy, seems to be warming up to the idea of smashing things for a good cause. Valkyrie, having confronted her past, is now determined. Even Loki, for all his scheming, seems genuinely invested, perhaps finding a renewed sense of purpose. The metallic thrum of the Grandmaster's technology around them serves as a constant reminder of their precarious situation. It's an underdog team in the making, and you can practically hear the montage music starting. The escape from Sakaar is a glorious explosion of color and chaos. Korg and Meek lead a rebellion of gladiators against the Grandmaster's guards, creating a delightful diversion. The sounds of blaster fire, metallic clangs, and rocky punches fill the air as the gladiators, finally free, tear through the Grandmaster's forces. Thor and Valkyrie, coordinating their efforts, fight their way to the Grandmaster's massive pleasure vessel, the Statesman. Loki, naturally, has found the controls and is already making himself comfortable. Hulk, in a surprisingly tender moment, finally transforms back into Bruce Banner, utterly disoriented and naked, falling out of a ship with a comical thud. Bruce, utterly bewildered by his 2 years as the Hulk, is hilarious in his confusion. The Statesman lifts off with a mighty roar of its engines, leaving behind the increasingly unstable Sakaar. The chaos and explosions paint a vibrant, destructive backdrop to their thrilling departure, a symphony of destruction and freedom. The metallic groans of the ship as it struggles to escape. The Grandmaster, of course, isn't one to take things lying down. He launches a frantic, yet somewhat pathetic, pursuit in a smaller, flashier ship, ordering his remaining guards to stop the escaping Statesman. However, the revolution Korg started is gaining momentum. The sounds of distant explosions and the shouts of liberated gladiators echo through Sakaar's main city. Grandmaster's plans are literally disintegrating around him. In a funny little post-credit scene, though it ties into the ongoing narrative, we see the Grandmaster stranded and disheveled, still rocking his flamboyant robes, surrounded by his angry, newly liberated subjects. He tries to charm them, pulling out his signature "You're welcome" line, but it's clear his reign of fun and games is over. The silence that follows his futile attempts at manipulation is heavy with the promise of future retribution for his former subjects. It's a hilarious, yet fitting end for the hedonistic ruler, suggesting he'll finally get a taste of his own chaotic medicine. Back on Asgard, things are looking grim. Hela, now fully empowered and terrifyingly stylish, has transformed the Golden Realm into a dark, gothic wasteland. She smashed the iconic Rainbow Bridge, defiled the majestic halls, and resurrected an army of the dead, their skeletal clanking and groans filling the air. Her massive, wolf-like companion, Fenris, prowls the ruins, his monstrous howls echoing ominously. Heimdall, ever the loyal and brave guardian, has gathered the remaining Asgardian citizens, leading them in a desperate evacuation, hiding them from Hela's relentless pursuit. The sounds of skirmishes, the clang of Heimdall's sword against undead soldiers, and the desperate cries of the refugees punctuate the grim reality. Hela, a force of nature, effortlessly dispatches any resistance, her dark magic sizzling and cracking as she brings more of Asgard's bloody past to life. She is a queen of carnage, and Asgard is her newly acquired, utterly devastated kingdom. The sheer scale of destruction, conveyed by the metallic groans of crumbling structures, is sobering. Just when all hope seems lost, the Statesman hurtles through a wormhole, making a truly dramatic, rather clumsy, crash landing onto the Bifrost Bridge with a colossal crash and screech of metal. The ramp lowers, and out step our heroes, Thor, Valkyrie, Loki, Bruce Banner, still looking a bit shell-shocked, Korg, and Meek. The sight of them, framed against the desolate Asgardian landscape, is undeniably epic. They immediately confront Hela's undead army, who snarl and clack their bony teeth, rushing them with a chilling rattle. Thor, now fully embracing his inner god of thunder, summons lightning with a mighty crackle, dispatching scores of skeletal soldiers with powerful zaps. Valkyrie unleashes her expert combat skills, her sword shinging as it slices through foes. Even Banner, despite his aversion to turning green, realizes the dire situation. The clashing of weapons, the thud of bodies, and the roar of battle signify the beginning of Asgard's final stand. The metallic clang of Scourge's axe, reluctantly wielded for Hela, adds another layer to the chaotic symphony of war. Scourge, Asgard's new reluctant executioner under Hela's reign, has been having a crisis of conscience. Initially swayed by Hela's promises of power and a cool helmet, he's witnessed her brutality firsthand. As the Asgardian refugees attempt to escape onto the Statesman, he sees the innocent lives Hela is destroying. The desperation in the voices of the fleeing Asgardians, coupled with the relentless snarls of Fenris and the undead, pushes him to act. In a powerful moment of redemption, he grabs 2 high-powered machine guns he'd collected from Earth, because why not? And leaps into action, laying down a barrage of deafening rat-a-tat-tat gunfire. He holds off Hela's advancing army, a single, determined figure against an endless horde. The spent casings clink on the ground as he fights, buying precious time for his people. He dies a hero, impaled by Hela's blades with a painful thud, his sacrifice echoing loudly, a truly satisfying character arc for a once cowardly guard. The metallic clang of his weapons hitting the ground marks his final heroic stand. Hela is not just powerful. She's practically invulnerable. Thor, Hulk, and Valkyrie throw everything they have at her. Thor's lightning zaps and cracks against her, but she shrugs it off. Hulk's massive punches land with thuds that would flatten any other foe, but she barely flinches, parrying his blows with effortlessly conjured blades that shing into existence. Valkyrie's skilled sword attacks clang against Hela's armor, but they do nothing. Hela, with chilling calm, effortlessly blocks and counterattacks, her blades appearing and disappearing with a sinister fizz. She's like a deadly, elegant dancer, always one step ahead. Her power seems to regenerate endlessly, drawing from Asgard itself, the very ground groaning beneath her feet as she wields its ancient power. The combined might of the Revengers barely slows her down. The sounds of their grunts of effort and the increasingly desperate clashes of their weapons highlight her overwhelming dominance. It's a truly terrifying display of a god-tier villain. In a particularly brutal move, Hela strikes Thor directly in the eye with a jagged shard from her helmet. Thor lets out a raw, guttural scream of agony, collapsing to the ground, his vision swimming with pain. The sudden agonizing loss is visceral, punctuated by the gruesome squelch of the impact. It's a moment that strips him bare, pushing him to his absolute limit. As he lies defeated, he experiences another vision of Odin, a calm presence amidst the pain. Odin's voice, soft yet firm, reminds him once more that Asgard isn't a place, but its people, and that his power comes from within, not from Mjolnir, not from his eyes, not even from his body, but from his essence. The vision is bathed in a calming golden light, a stark contrast to the bloody battlefield. With this profound realization, a surge of latent power ignites within Thor. His remaining eye glows with crackling blue energy, and the thunder, not just a tool, but an extension of his will, begins to truly manifest. The sound of building electrical hum around him signals a profound change. Now, this is the god of thunder we've been waiting for. Thor, eye blazing, leaps into the air, surrounded by an aura of raw, untamed lightning that snaps and crackles around him with explosive energy. He calls down a massive lightning bolt, striking Hela with a deafening crack boom that sends shockwaves across the battlefield. He no longer needs his hammer. He is the hammer. Each punch he throws is imbued with crackling electricity, landing with a powerful thud and zap. He fights with a ferocity and confidence unseen before, matching Hela blow for blow, his illuminated form a beacon of hope amidst the destruction. The metallic clang of his fists against Hela's blades creates a symphony of power, the air thick with the smell of ozone. It's an exhilarating transformation, a visual and auditory spectacle of raw power. He's not just a prince anymore. He's a king in the making, embracing his true destiny and reminding Hela who's really boss around these parts. While Thor is busy with Hela, Hulk, having finally transformed back from Banner in a moment of extreme peril, takes on the monstrous Fenris wolf. The ground trembles with each of Fenris's terrifying growls and the thump of Hulk's massive feet. It's a truly epic beast-on-beast brawl, with Hulk, true to form, delivering massive punches and wrestling the giant canine with all his might. The snapping of Fenris's jaws and the ripping of metal as Hulk tears through the bridge demonstrate the sheer power involved. Valkyrie, meanwhile, is a whirlwind of skill and determination, carving a path through Hela's undead legions with her sword shinging and slicing through bone. She faces Hela's lieutenants with a steely gaze, her movements precise and deadly. The combined efforts of the Revengers, now fully unleashed, create a chaotic but exhilarating symphony of battle, each clang, thud, and zap contributing to the overwhelming sensory experience of a world-ending war. It's a beautifully choreographed mess. As the battle rages and Asgard literally starts to crumble, Thor realizes that Hela's power is too great. The only way to stop her is to unleash Ragnarok itself. But first, the people need to be saved. He sends Loki on a crucial mission to get the statesman, now filled with the remaining Asgardian refugees, to safety. Loki, ever the opportunist, can't resist a moment of grand heroism, even if it's tinged with his usual smirk. He races back to the ship, the thump of his boots echoing through the halls. With a flick of a switch and a familiar whoosh of engines, Loki pilots the massive vessel, guiding it towards the Bifrost Bridge, dodging debris and Hela's relentless attacks. His voice, calm and commanding over the ship's intercom, directs the desperate evacuation. It's a rare moment of selfless action from the god of mischief, showing his true colors when his home and people are at stake. The metallic groans of the ship straining under pressure add to the urgency of their flight. Thor, in a shocking moment of strategic brilliance, realizes that Hela's power is tied to Asgard itself. The only way to defeat her is to destroy the very realm she draws her power from. It's a gut-wrenching decision, a true Sophie's choice for a god whose entire identity is tied to his home. He tells Loki to bring the crown of Surtur, the very artifact Thor acquired at the beginning of the movie, to the eternal flame in the vaults. Loki, with a nod, races to complete the task. With a fiery whoosh and a colossal roar, Surtur is resurrected, growing to an unimaginable size, his flaming form towering over Asgard with an awe-inspiring, terrifying presence. The ground trembles with his every move and the air crackles with heat. It's a truly apocalyptic visual, an entity of pure destruction brought forth to save a world by ending it. The sounds of his monstrous growls and the crackle of his flames are deafening, signaling the true, irreversible end of Asgard. Hela, who has been completely dominating the Revengers, is caught entirely off guard by the sudden, fiery arrival of the colossal Surtur. Her triumphant smirk instantly turns to a look of furious disbelief as she realizes the tables have turned. She turns her formidable power against Surtur, summoning a barrage of her dark blades and unleashing her terrifying energy blasts, which fizz and crack against the fiery demon. Surtur, however, is on a mission of prophesied destruction. He barely acknowledges her, focusing on his true goal, to bring about Ragnarok. Their clash is brief but epic, a literal titan battle where Hela's desperate screams of rage are drowned out by Surtur's thunderous roar. With a final, earth-shattering crash, Surtur plunges his enormous, flaming sword into the very core of Asgard, the blade slicing through the golden realm with terrifying ease. The sound of Asgard tearing itself apart is a cataclysmic groan and rumble, a symphony of annihilation as the planet is ripped asunder. From the relative safety of the statesmen, Thor, Valkyrie, Hulk, Banner, Loki, Korg, Meek, and the surviving Asgardian people watch in solemn silence as their beloved homeworld, Asgard, erupts in a blinding, fiery explosion, disintegrating into cosmic dust. The deafening boom is followed by an eerie silence, broken only by the quiet hum of the ship's engines and the stifled sobs of the refugees. It's a visually stunning, emotionally devastating moment. The metallic groans of the ship's hull are the only sounds within the vessel. Thor, with his missing eye and battle-worn face, watches the destruction of everything he's ever known. The weight of his decision is palpable, yet there's also a stoic acceptance. Asgard, the place, is gone, but Asgard, the people, have survived. It's a bittersweet victory, the end of an era and the beginning of a perilous new journey into the unknown depths of space. The scene resonates with a profound sense of loss and rebirth, highlighting the cyclical nature of destruction and creation in the cosmos. With Asgard gone, Thor, now truly the king, addresses his people on the statesman. He's lost an eye, his hammer, and his home, but he's found his true power and purpose. The soft hum of the ship's navigation systems underscores the quiet resolve in his voice. He proclaims that they will make Earth their new home, a decision met with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Loki, ever the trickster, seems to genuinely support his brother, perhaps finally ready to embrace a less villainous path. The final shot is of Thor, sitting on a makeshift throne looking out into the vast, star-filled expanse of space. The future is uncertain, but he has his people, his friends, and his newfound strength. The metallic thrum of the ship's engines is a constant companion on their journey, a steady heartbeat against the infinite cosmic silence. They are refugees, but they are also survivors, carrying the legacy of Asgard into the great unknown, ready for whatever cosmic adventures, and maybe more jokes, await them. It's a profound moment of leadership and hope, a quiet promise of a new beginning. And so, with Asgard reduced to stardust, the statesman glides through the inky blackness of space, carrying the hopes and dreams of a displaced people. It's a powerful image of resilience, a testament to the idea that home isn't a place, but a community. Thor, having lost so much, has gained an understanding of true leadership, one that prioritizes his people above all else. His journey from arrogant prince to wise king is complete, etched onto his weary yet determined face. The whispers of the universe now beckon, promising new challenges but also new opportunities for growth and connection. As we leave them, heading towards a new dawn, we're reminded that even in destruction, there's the promise of rebirth, a fresh canvas for their story. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more.